Hey everybody, and welcome back. So today I'm going to be telling you about the thrillers that I have read so far that have the best endings. Now, of course, this is subjective to my taste, and I'm not going to tell you what my rubric is because that would inevitably spoil some of these endings for you, which is something I do not want to do because that would render me persona non grata on BookTube. Without a doubt. There have been many times when I have read thriller books, I was enjoying the setup, I was enjoying the beginning, I was enjoying it for the most part, and then the final act happens, and it just devolves into a bunch of cliches and tropes that have been seen many times, you know. Like, what are they? You have this person was this person the whole time, but they were using a nickname. Or this person has memory loss, this person goes into a fugue state. This person has a mental illness that I have inserted problematically, which is used to justify them murdering an entire house of people. You know who you are, certain authors, just stop. It's not only problematic, it's a freaking cliche at this point, okay? Stop it. No, these are thrillers that have had endings that have succeeded at doing the one thing many books struggle to do, and that is nail the landing, okay? These books nail the freaking landing. So the first book I'm gonna talk to you about today is The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. This book is actually a historical thriller, and it's set in the year 1634. And basically, we are on this ship, we are on the high seas, we are sailing in the middle of nowhere, out in the ocean, no one can hear you scream kind of situation, okay? We follow a guy named Errant, and he is a bodyguard to this man who was accused of murder, and they are on this ship on the way to Amsterdam to have him executed for death, basically. So he's accompanying him to his, like, final shebang before he gets boom, right? So whilst this journey is happening, pretty bizarre stuff on the ship starts to happen. Some of the livestock is getting killed, people are going missing, people are getting murdered, stuff is getting stolen. So all this like crazy shit's going down, and they begin to suspect that this supernatural entity of myth and legend is responsible for all this terror. And when I say that I was very impressed with this ending, bitch, wow, okay. This is one of the most meticulously plotted books I have ever read. There's no way I could have guessed what happened. This book could have easily fallen apart at the seams, but the way everything just came together at the end was just so incredibly satisfying. I was just like, wow. That is incredible. Very good job. Very good job, Stuart. Stuart deserves a pat on the back. So many interesting characters on the sea. Lots of seamen. Lots of amazing seamen. Okay, so the next book I'm going to talk about is The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. Now, Peter Swanson actually recently wrote this book called Every Vow You Break, which a lot of people that I think are really smart actually did not like at all, but for some reason I really enjoyed that book. Like, I was so on board with the sleazy, tawdry, just pervy skeeviness of it all. Unabashed trash, very Brian De Palma, early Brian De Palma. That's how I think of that book. But this book, I wasn't really a thriller reader some years ago, and now I'm obsessed. And I can attribute this to books like The Kind Worth Killing and The Silent Patient. Yes, that's how recent I got into thrillers, okay? Don't judge me. So these books are incredible, and if you want to see a list where I talk about The Silent Patient, be sure to watch this video. It's a video on the books with the best plot twists. So be sure to watch that one because Silent Patient, oh my goodness, okay, hi. So The Kind Worth Killing, this is basically a modern day reimagining of the film Strangers on a Train by Alfred Hitchcock, which in itself is an adaptation of a book of the same title by Patricia Highsmith. And we follow this man named Ted, and he meets this charming woman named Lily. And basically she starts getting him drunk, making him sip that alcohol, you know, come with me to the bar, I'll keep you company. And in his drunken state, he basically goes, I want to kill my wife. Any normal person would be like, you're crazy, goodbye, nice knowing you. Not Lily. No, because Lily's not no normal person. No, she is not. Okay, instead, Lily is like, I would like to help. When I say this book is filled with twists, even with my standards now, given all the thrillers I've read and been made jaded by, this book still holds up. This book is still filled with stuff that I was just like, what is happening? And it was amazing. It's so good. So freaking good, okay? Read it. Alright, so next is They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. And I'm just gonna put it this way. Scarlett Clark, literature teacher by day, serial killer by night. Okay, that is all you need to know going in this book, but I will elaborate. Who does she target? Shitty men. And she's not like a moralistic serial killer, no. No, this bitch actually enjoys killing, and the internal shit that happens in her head is like very morally questionable, but you're kind of like rooting for her the whole time. Yeah, she likes what she does. And whilst all this is happening, we have another student named Carly, and she is new to the school. She's a freshman, and she's targeted by skeevy men, and she is in a place where men have so much power over you in academia. And this book is also like a really good commentary on that, actually. It's a good commentary on that. It's a good commentary on academic integrity. It's a good commentary on just basically women fighting back. This is a good for her story through and through. At the end of this book, you're not gonna be like, I can't believe this bitch pulled this shit, what the f? No, you're gonna be like, good for her. Good for her, okay? I discussed this book with my book club. All of us gave it 5 stars. All of us sung praises for this book because it is just that incredible. Because it was just that satisfying, you know? Food for the soul, for the angry soul. What does that say about me and us? I don't know. And honestly, this book reminded me so much of the film Promising Young Woman. I feel like a lot of people were disappointed with that movie because of reasons that I will not get into. But over here, the thing that they hated about Promising Young Woman is rectified over here times 10. Just saying. Alright, so the next thriller with an amazing ending that I'm gonna recommend is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, and oh, it's so refreshing to speak highly and well about Riley Sager on this channel as opposed to talking about Survive the Night. And I'm telling you now that this has nothing to do with the fact that I requested an arc of Sager's new book, The House Across the Lake. I did request a new arc, but me talking positive about this author randomly, completely out of the blue, has nothing to do with that, I promise you. Okay, so we follow this woman who goes back to this house after many years, and this is the house that she was raised in. And the reason she was gone from it was because a certain thing happened in the past which caused them to immediately move out of the house and vow to never go back. But after all these years, she inherits the house, I believe, and she goes back, and we follow dual timelines. You know, Sager when he's at his best. Ugh, I gave this book 5 stars, and which made it all the more painful when the book that came out after this was what it was. Why? Anyway, this book's incredible. I love the ending. I loved the reveal. It also has Sager's signature, unpredictable, amazing twist, which worked in all the books except for Survive the Night, okay? Yeah, I'm not gonna turn this into a Survive the Night video. I've spoken about that book enough. This is gonna remain a Home Before Dark video. If you have read Home Before Dark, one of my earliest videos is a video on that. It is a book discussion of the book that I loved so much, and I loved the ending. I loved everything about this book, and I just think it was great, and I cannot wait for Riley Sager's new book. So the next thriller I'm gonna talk about with an amazing ending is No Exit by Taylor Adams. So this book is about this woman who is driving in the snow, and she stops by this rest stop, and in the rest stop she sees a bunch of people. Hi, how are you? Gonna drink some coffee, mind my own business. And then she goes outside, and in the car of some stranger she sees a kidnapped child. Whole book takes place in one evening. We're like, why is a child in the car? Whose child is this? Who in the rest stop is a kidnapper? I don't know what's going on. She doesn't know what's going on. And by the end of the book, it just gets twisty and twisty and twisty until like the very, very, very last part. I was just like, did they No. Did they though? What is happening? And the ending was just super satisfying, and I loved it. And this is one of the most aggressively fast-paced thrillers I have ever read. Like, it just kept going and going and going and never ran out of momentum, even though it only took place in like one night. Great stuff, highly recommended. Oh my goodness. Your heart will be a pounding. Yeah, you're gonna get a good pounding reading this. So the next book I'm going to talk about is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. So we basically follow this woman, she's a reporter, and she is reporting on this murder, and she teams up with this detective who him and her may or may not have a past, okay? Thing is though, is that the detective starts being blamed for the murder, and actual chaos begins to ensue from there. The twist at the end of this book was one that I would have literally never guessed in 1,000 years. Have any of you lovely humans seen the Netflix show Clickbait? Okay, have you seen Clickbait? Because if you have seen that show, you know the vibes. You know the actual vibes. The twist at the end of Clickbait, I don't know how smart you say you are, how smart you think you are. I don't care if you were the person who wrote the actual show. You did not see that twist coming, okay? And that feeling I got when I got to the end of that show was the same vibes that I got at the end of this book. It was just like, what? And I haven't yet read Alice Feeney's new book, Rock, Paper, Scissors. I own it, I've had it like since it came out, but I just for some reason have not picked it up yet. So if any of you want me to read that and like share my thoughts or something, I don't know, do let me know. Let me know, okay, let me know. Okay, so the next book I'm gonna include on this list is The Last House on Needless Street by Katrina Ward. And this is a book about a serial killer. And this is a book that I think defies every single genre expectation, every single genre convention. I even hesitate to put it as a thriller. Some people have said it was like a horror, but it wasn't scary to me. It was more suspenseful, more eerie. So if you're a huge fan of the A24 movies, you know, the A24 horror movies, if you watched Scream 5 and you are like the girl at the beginning who said that her favorite horror movie was The Babadook because of the meaning and shit, this is gonna be the book for you, okay? This is gonna be the book for you. If you are like the Jenna Ortega character in Scream 5, this is gonna be the book for you, I promise. I will say one thing about this book, and this is what I love the most about it. This is a book that takes one of the most tired and problematic cliches that I see so many times in thrillers, and it repackages it. It presents it with a new angle, with a fresh take, with a fresh twist. And I'm not gonna elaborate, but this was very well done, and I was very happy to read a book that did this finally. In the ocean of thrillers that present very questionable twists, this was definitely an improvement. Anyway, that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have thrillers with knockout amazing endings that you would like to recommend to me, please do so. Thank you very much. Would really appreciate it. Let me know if you've read any of the books on this list. Let me know if you've heard of them, what you think of them. I hope to see you in future videos, and as always, take care. I lose myself